Okay, everyone. Luke here. Hope you're doing well. So, time to do some broad market technical analysis. Gonna go over gold, silver, oil, S&P 500, and then gonna go over Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the major altcoins, and gonna go over our favorite three low cap shit coins: Vertium, Populus, and Pillar. And then, yeah, so sit back, enjoy the video. Okay, so let's start with gold. Now, gold, actually, out of any market right now, has the best chart to me. Okay. Let's see here. So we can see, there was massive market correlation in the beginning of the coronavirus dump. Let's see here. Get my chart better. Okay, we can see it dumped here with the S&P 500. All the markets dumped, right? Crypto dumped, precious metals dumped, all stocks dumped, real estate dumped, blah, blah, blah. Everything dumped. Okay, just because it was a massive deleveraging event, right? People are scared. They want cash. Okay, but we see it's made a beautiful recovery. And if we compare it to the stock market, right? So if we go to SPY, we see that it's a lot closer to its recent high. Okay, so let's go to the daily. So we can see the coronavirus dump. So SPY from its high is about, let's see here, another 50% away. Okay, go to gold. How far away is gold from its high? Less than 5%. It's like 1% away, 1 or 2% away from gold. So gold's made a much, much better recovery. Okay, and gold is the strongest chart out of all major sectors. Okay, it's stronger than stocks, stronger than real estate. It's stronger than oil. It's stronger than cryptocurrencies. It's stronger than Bitcoin. Okay, I am watching this possibility of a rising wedge here. Okay, we are still trading within this wedge. There was a little bit of a breakout. You could say that it basically just kissed the line here today. I'm looking at a possible gold short next week. I expect it to tighten within this rising wedge, and then I'm looking for a short out of the wedge. Price target would probably be, maybe the last daily lower high, which is right about, or I should say higher low, about 1641. That wouldn't be a bad place to take profits if you're shorting it. And then if you want to do a longer term swing trade, you could target the exponential support at like 1604. That wouldn't be bad. But yeah, possibility of a rising wedge. And I'm seeing this rising wedge in several markets. Okay, so I'm seeing it in gold. Let's go to the silver chart. I'm also seeing a rising wedge here. We can see silver is also in a rising wedge type of scenario here. So look out for the rising wedges we're seeing. My personal prediction is that we tighten within these rising wedges into next week, and then we fall, and then some sort of crisis next week with coronavirus or something maybe might cause it, and there'll be more deflation. Okay. So let's go over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin also rising wedge. We got a lot of rising wedges going on. Okay, so that's the theme. And the reason why so many markets are in rising wedges is because we've seen so much correlation lately. Okay, these markets really correlate on the way down. They're correlating on the way up. It's hard to say why all the markets are so correlated right now. Perhaps it's the financialization of cryptocurrencies and commodities. There's not much physical trading going on in these markets anymore. It could be just because due to the coronavirus, the volatility is making assets correlate more as people, flow in and out of dollars, okay, and bonds. But yeah, seeing this rising wedge on Bitcoin, okay. But for now, Bitcoin is not in a bad place. 4-hour uptrend intact. It's in a daily uptrend, okay. We can delete this rising wedge for now, but I would be wary of this rising wedge on Bitcoin, okay. And then we did get a crossover of the daily exponentials for the first time since the dump. Okay, which is significant, right? And we'll start making higher highs and higher lows on Bitcoin. So even if we break bearish out of this rising wedge and have a big pullback, Bitcoin's got a lot of room. Look at the weekly chart. Bitcoin does look like a short to me. Okay, you get the rising wedge, you're hitting exponential resistance, declining bull volume on the weekly, but there's a lot of room. If we take our ruler here and look at the percentage, Bitcoin's doubled from the bottom, so Bitcoin's got a lot of room to make a weekly higher low here. Anything above 38.58 is a weekly higher low, because what we want to see is we want to change the weekly trend here. We want to make a higher low and a higher high. Okay, that would be preferable. And that'd be significant for the cryptocurrency space. If Bitcoin can make a higher high and a higher low on the weekly, that's very significant. Okay. Most coins right now are following Bitcoin for the most part, so I do want to look over some of the longer term charts. So if we go over Ethereum, Bitcoin, this standed out to me. So weekly higher low set on Ethereum. So Ethereum's in a weekly uptrend versus Bitcoin. Most importantly, though, it's in a monthly uptrend. Okay, so we can see that here. We made a low here at 0.16, higher low at 0.169. And then we just made our higher low again here, or I should say we're looking for a higher low. But yeah, Ethereum is in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin. Okay, so that's very significant. Two more coins I'm going to give you guys that are also in monthly uptrends versus Bitcoin. And that is Tezos and Link. Okay, so let's look at the Tezos chart on the monthly. What do we see here versus Bitcoin? Higher low, higher low. So we're in a monthly uptrend. Okay. So Tezos and Link should do very well if we enter another bull leg. And we can see Link's already doing very well. Link is our lead bull right now. And historically, during the last bullish price movement, Link and Tezos were both our lead bulls. So let's go to Link. We got some wicks dealing with here. Let's see if we can get rid. Oh, it's Link USD, my bad. Let's go to Link Bitcoin. Binance, that's what we want. So on the weekly, we are looking just for a weekly lower high. But on the monthly, you can see quite clearly, we've been in a monthly uptrend for some time. Chainlink has been in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin for, quite some time. I would say starting here, so about July 2018, Chainlink has been in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin. Look at this massive bull move here too. So Chainlink, Tezos, Ethereum. And what do those have in common? They're both kind of, like proof of stake coins. So we can say that maybe the industry is starting to prefer more proof of stake. People wanting to get passive income. But yeah, something to keep an eye out on. Okay, let's go Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is looking to also be in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin here. We made a higher low right here. And so we can say that if Bitcoin Cash breaks 0.048, that Bitcoin Cash will also be in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin. Okay? So, interesting stuff. And we can see that on the dominance chart that dominance has been falling lately, okay? So, let's zoom out, look at the dominance chart. Daily downtrend on the dominance chart. Let's look at the weekly. We've changed the weekly trend on the dominance chart, but now we're pulling back, okay? So, not quite so clear on the weekly. Daily is pretty clear, and then we are just looking for a monthly lower high here, okay? Let's see. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance is in the lower, making lower lows and lower highs. So we can see here that, it topped out. This was our lower high right here for the monthly on the dominance chart at 70.9. And then we are in a monthly downtrend, okay? So long-term dominance is falling. That's something to be aware of. Okay, and what will tell us a lot is how these inside bars break, okay? Well, it's just one inside bar. So it looks like we're going to form an inside bar here on the dominance chart. And we'll see if we get inside bar bull break or a bear break, okay? Typically what we've been seeing lately is that money flows into Bitcoin during the crashes, right? So as a bull, I think that what you want to see is probably this inside bar break bearish, okay? And that way, you know, things like Tezos, Link, Bitcoin Cash, even Ethereum especially, those should see continued strength versus Bitcoin. If we break bullish here, you know, most likely we're getting consolidation, and you know, how the cryptocurrency sphere is set up right now is, you know, Bitcoin's the most trusted, most safe, and most liquid. So typically during the crashes, Bitcoin dominance goes up lately, okay? It didn't used to always be like that, you know, but lately that's what we've been seeing, is that Bitcoin has been going up more than the alts during dumps, basically. Okay, so let's look at SPY here. Now we've changed the daily trend, and there's a lot of both follow through already. So honestly, the stock market looks bullish to me, man. I don't really. There's no red flags here at all. No rising wedges or anything on the stock market. Okay, and we can see, you know, is there a sort of rising wedge going on here? We can try it here. You know, we could maybe like that. It's more like a channel at this point. Okay, so I would say that would not be my criteria for a rising wedge. Maybe in the future we could get some sort of rising wedge pattern, but for now I'm not saying it's a rising wedge. And look, we've made a higher low on the daily. I would say that's not quite enough to make our next higher low, but yeah, we're in a daily uptrend, you know, and we are just looking for a weekly lower high. Okay, anything under way up here, okay, is just a weekly lower high. And similar to Bitcoin, it is hitting exponential resistance here. Okay, so what I think will happen, I think that this is just a dead cat bounce. You know, during a previous crisis, so we've had numerous dead cat bounces, and then we'll roll over again if we are entering a depression level event. But that's, you know, that's just my opinion, and we don't know that yet on the charts. On the charts, it's actually been a pretty strong recovery, okay? Whether it's a dead cat bounce or not, and then they're going to pull the plug on it, who knows? But we are back into a daily uptrend, and, you know, that's that for now. Would I short it? I would say the risk-reward does favor shorting SPY right now, just because we're looking for a weekly lower high. What I would first be looking for is at least a trend change on the hourly if I'm entering a short. So maybe what you could be looking for here is some sort of like head and shoulders event, where if you're seeing like, you know, maybe next week, you know, it goes something like this, and then it goes like this again, and then it starts to roll over. Okay, you could even say maybe this is a shoulder. We could possibly also see, maybe we'll see volatility in the futures market. Okay, let's delete this. Is we could see, you know, something like this that's already happening here, where it just goes left shoulder, head, right shoulder, something like that. It's not a perfect head and shoulders though, but what's more important with a lot of these patterns is the psychology of it, just the fact that we're going up against resistance again. You know, a lot of people think that like head and shoulders have to be perfect. No, all it really matters, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to, the psychology has to match. Okay, you have to be, you know, be grinding up against resistance several times, and then, you know, starting to basically pivot over. Okay. So yeah, we'll see what happens with SPY, but for now, there's no red flags at all. Okay, 4-hour uptrend intact, daily uptrend intact, and so we don't know yet where we're gonna make our weekly lower high. Okay, so somewhere around here we're gonna top out, probably sooner than later. Okay, risk reward, you know, I would say is shorting, just similar to Bitcoin actually. I would say Bitcoins are short right now too, but you know, it's hard to say. Silver, similar thing to gold. Okay, let's look at the gold silver ratio. All right, let's pull up this bad boy. Gold silver ratio. Not clear at all now. Really got to zoom way out. Zoom out again. We are in a daily downtrend, so that's good for the silver bulls. Okay, daily downtrend for the gold silver ratio. We can see how overextended here gold was. compared to. It's just because gold's more of a safe haven, right? It's like the same reason why money flows into Bitcoin first. I mean, not first, but when a crash happens, right? And then Bitcoin's the most liquid, most trusted, right? Gold is the most trusted and most monetary, most liquid commodity, right? And so during a crash, money flows into gold. And then we look at the monthly. Monthly's not clear here. Probably the most clear for me is the weekly. Okay, and we're eyeing exponential support here for a weekly higher low. But there's quite a room here to fall here, and so I would favor the silver bulls for now, and then we'll see if we get a little bit of a bounce, and then maybe it rolls over, and we'll see silver start to outperform. Historically, we're at the highest gold-silver ratio we've ever seen, right? We can zoom out here. We've never seen this high of a gold-silver ratio. So risk-reward does favor silver, in my opinion, okay? Because silver is a monetary metal as well, okay? And gold is just so overextended against it. You'd think they would at least bounce more here, okay? So, but gold's very strong, okay? Like I said, gold's probably the strongest chart I've seen. Okay, let's go over oil. Okay, perhaps our weekly lower high was set here at 580, and then we're going to see if we can change the weekly trend. So probably the daily is more clear. Okay, we haven't even changed the daily trend on oil, so that's something to keep in mind as well, okay? To change the daily trend, we're going to have to make a higher low here, and then we're going to have to break. See what we got to break here. Break 592. Okay. This is not what we want. What am I looking at? We want crude oil. Yeah. What the hell's going on? Okay, oil. Oil technically has changed its daily trend. We can see we double bottomed almost to the penny here at 20.98. To me, that's close enough to make a double bottom. And then, it depends what your criteria is. For me personally, it probably hasn't changed its daily trend, actually. I would consider this a higher low. And then we broke it with no follow-through. For me, we need a little more follow-through for me to consider it having changed its daily uptrend. And let's go out to the weekly here since we were looking at the wrong chart. Yeah, weekly. We could have topped out here. That's a pretty nasty wick. We could have just set our lower high. And then, on the weekly, we had to set a higher high and a higher low to actually change its trend. But, gold had that big, oil had that big spike, but, still looks weak to me. If I had to guess, it'd be a similar thing to gold. Let's see if we have a sort of a wedge pattern here. I kind of doubt it, but we'll see. Yeah. I don't think we're going to be able to do a wedge. We could make it something like this. Yeah, it's not going to work. Okay. So oil's not a wedge. So there's no major red flags on oil. We're just going to be looking to see if we can change this daily and weekly trend. Okay, that's the biggest thing for me. Macroeconomic standpoint, I would say, with a lockdown and everything, I don't know how, oil is going to go up much more. To me, most likely is that we set our weekly lower high, which could have already been set, and then we're going to either form an equilibrium or roll over even farther down. Okay, and then if we roll over, actually, as a trader, what I want to see is some of these markets roll over, and then especially oil, because I played this oversold bounce beautifully, and I made like 150% on a call. So what I want to see is it roll over on the weekly and just get destroyed with extreme RSI levels, and then pick up some cheap calls that have good risk reward. That would be nice. Okay, let's take a look at our favorite shit coins, as you know that I've been accumulating. Vertium, okay. You can't do it on TradingView, so I gotta use Yahoo charts. It is in a daily and a weekly uptrend, okay? So you can say whatever you want about Vertium's a scam or whatever, okay? But we can see that it has made a higher high and a higher low on the weekly. Okay, I'm not including these giant wicks. It's so low liquidity, it gets wicked all over the place. But you can see here we made our we bottomed during that, I think it was during the SEC FUD when he got fined. Yeah, $2.73. Then we made a higher low here at $4.18, and then we are in a weekly uptrend. Okay. So weekly, daily uptrend, and then on the monthly chart, not clear at this point. We'll see if we can get a bounce here, then change our weekly trend. But monthly trend. But it isn't a weekly trend, uptrend, okay? So let's look at Populus, okay? Another one of my favorite shit coins. Populus. Okay, the weekly. So just looking for a weekly lower high here. You know, if we zoom out, Populus has not really changed its weekly trend ever for the whole duration of the bear market. You could say if you were picky, it changed its weekly trend maybe back in February, but it didn't really. You want to see more of a clear trend change on the weekly, okay? And we can see that we're going to, any sort of bounce here, we're still eyeing exponential resistance, okay? Monthly is probably not very clear. I don't even want to chart the monthly. Yeah, it's not very clear at all. So weekly is what we're looking for. We still want to change our weekly trend. We'll see if we top out maybe around somewhere like 0.26 or 0.27, 23 cents, 27 cents. Then we'll form a higher low, and then we'll see if we can change our weekly trend and get over exponential resistance. What we ideally want to see is we can see on the weekly, we've been grinding this exponential resistance. On Populus, what we want to see, change of the weekly trend, higher high, higher low, crossover of these exponentials, and then turn the exponentials, the resistance into support, and then start going up. Okay, that's what we want to see. This has not happened yet. We just see one long dump. Okay. Pillar. But fundamental standpoint, I think that there's excellent risk reward Populus, and I still like what they're doing. And they should have some good news in the next month or two. Pillar. Pillar also signed up to be one of their beta testers. So let's look at Pillar. Pillar is a similar story to Populus. Exponential resistance in play. Want to change the weekly trend. We can see that this is hasn't really changed its weekly trend this whole time. Just one big downtrend. Monthly, I'm sure, is not really tradable. It's not really chartable. Yeah, it's not really chartable. Lower lows and lower highs, basically. And then we'll see what we are on the daily. Has changed its daily trend, trying to get over exponential resistance and trying to get a crossover here. And then similar to Populus, okay, it's just one long downtrend, and on the weekly we want to see a weekly trend change, and we want to see these exponentials that are acting as resistance right now turn into support and start to go higher. Okay, so but yeah, again, these coins will probably follow Bitcoin, which has been very correlated to stocks. Okay, so something you should be aware of is that all the markets are very correlated right now. Oil, stock market, cryptocurrencies, commodities, they're all very correlated. Strongest chart to me right now is honestly gold. Gold is the closest thing I've seen to its recent highs, unless you're going to pick out like a couple stocks, that have held up well, like a bleach company or something, I don't know, or Zoom. I think, Zoom had the Chinese FUD lately, but it was doing well before that. But yeah, you had to pick out an individual stock. But gold is the strongest thing I've seen. So yeah, you should have some gold in your portfolio. Okay, have some physical gold in your possession. Same thing with silver, and hopefully we'll see some more silver strength. Bitcoin, we do have a lot of room for these for this weekly higher low here. But in the short term, I am looking at this daily wedge pattern. And to me, going up into a wedge along with declining bull volume on the weekly, hitting this weekly exponential resistance, those are all red flags, and it looks like a giant short to me. And especially with the macroeconomics, if we see another massive stock market crash as people realize that we're entering in a depression or something like that, and there's deflation, this thing will Bitcoin will probably get obliterated and go to something like, if you zoom way out, I'm still seeing the possibility of an actual ABC here, where we just do a giant A, and then we'll see. We actually have our ABC tool, don't we? Oh, come on. Let's see. Where's the ABC tool? Yeah, ABC correction. Okay, so we can see here we can go A at the top, then we got a B, and then we're looking for a C, and we could go to somewhere like 1200. Okay, so that is a possibility. We're just saying a weekly lower high, or monthly lower high as well, because we are in a monthly downtrend. and then if stocks just get obliterated due to like a stock depression type event. So far, it seems Bitcoin's going to want to follow. Okay, if the past was any indication, maybe it won't. Maybe we'll get a miracle and Bitcoin will pump while the stock market is crashing. But if you're a Bitcoin bull, you better hope that we don't see massive deflation in a stock market crash, because Bitcoin, for what we've seen, will follow and it will make new lows. It will probably at least test 3,800 if stocks make new lows. But there's another possibility as well. We have a lot of room to make a weekly higher low here. I could see a scenario where stocks make new lows and there's a lot of fear around coronavirus, and then Bitcoin actually makes just a weekly higher low here, maybe around 5,000. Okay. And then through all the noise, Bitcoin is actually, fine. But we'll see. But short term, I'm bearish for the next week or so. And then long term and medium term, I'm still bullish, though. Halving is coming, and that's always a bullish event that the market can't really price in. And yeah, that's that. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below if you want any coins for me to do some analysis on next time, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.